Welcome everyone to your first day of your 7-day yoga challenge. In today's class, we'll focus on learning some of the basic yoga poses. We'll take our time and we will stay low to the ground. If you have some blocks handy, grab them now. If you don't have blocks, any book will do. We'll begin in easy pose, crossing the legs. If crossing the legs isn't accessible, then you can grab your blocks and place them underneath your knees at any height. Wherever you are, make sure you're comfortable. Inhale to elongate the spine all the way up to the top of your head, the crown of your head. Close the eyes for a few moments and move inwards. Roll the shoulders up and back, find length, and gently tuck the chin. Start paying attention to the breath as it passes through the body. So in through the nose, down the chest and filling up the belly. And then on the exhale, emptying the belly, the chest, and feeling the air softly passing over the upper lip. Softly open the eyes and plant your right hand just outside your right hip. Take a deep breath through the nose as you extend your left arm up overhead. Stay here or reach that arm to the right side, finding length through the ribs. Keep the left shoulder rolling open as you lift through the top of the rib cage. Keep the breath full. Release the left arm and we will switch sides. Plant your left hand outside your left hip. Wait for your inhale. Reach the right arm up and over, finding length through the spine. Roll the right shoulder back and reach up with the right ribs. Right sit bone stays glued to the floor. Trying to find length in that side body. Inhale, come back through center and find your way back to cross leg, changing which leg was either on top or in front. Next, we'll flow through some Sufi grinds, which are essentially big circles with our torso. Inhale to find length, sit up tall. Exhale, start making big circles with the torso, flowing with the breath. As we roll to the back of the room, let your pelvic bone roll backwards, rounding the lower back. As you come forward, reverse the tilt of the pelvis and sit up tall. We'll do 4 in one direction and then 4 in the other. Doesn't matter which way you go first. Don't worry about how this looks, rather worry about how it feels. Slow down through any sore spots where your body may need a little bit more love. When you're finished, we'll meet in easy pose once again and find our way to hands and knees or tabletop. Once there, sink your hips back to the back of the mat and find your child's pose. If you need some cushion under the glutes, you can place 1 or 2 blocks at any height underneath the sit bones. Bring your toes to touch and your knees out wide to the edge of the mat. Slowly walk the hands forward and drop the head down. Also, option to place a block underneath the chest. Whatever feels comfortable for you. This is a nice resting pose, so if you're ever in any class and you feel a little tired, you can just come down to child's pose and catch your breath. Option to do it with the knees wide like we're doing it here, or to do it with the knees together. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Inhale to press through those hands. Come through to tabletop. Hips are over the knees and the shoulders are over the wrists. We'll move through some cat-cows. So starting at the bottom of the back and on the inhale, start arching your back 1 vertebrae at a time, all the way through the neck. Bring the gaze up at the end of your inhale. Exhale, start at the lower of the back and this time round the back, 1 vertebrae at a time, bringing the gaze to your belly button. We'll move through 4 rounds, working with your own breath. Keep the movements as big or as small as you need. Really listen to your body. When you're finished, we'll meet again in tabletop, and we'll make our way down to puppy pose. So this can be pretty intense for some people. So if you need to put a block underneath the chest, or even one underneath the forehead, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, if you don't need a block, we're just reaching that chest towards the floor. Wherever you are in this posture, just make sure the breath is staying full. No pain in the neck, no discomfort. This is a really great pose for opening up that whole front body. On your next inhale, gently press through the hands, lift up. Keep the left hand where it is while you slowly reach the right hand underneath the left shoulder. Right cheek meets the mat. Keep the hips square and relax through the right shoulder. Again, check in with the neck. Make sure there isn't any pain. No pinching. Press through the left hand to bring yourself back to center, and we'll switch sides, reaching the left hand under the right shoulder, finding our twist on the opposite side. Really getting some stretch into the shoulder blade on the left side. Inhale, press through the hands, come back to tabletop. Pivot on the right knee, exhale, reach the right foot out to the side. So it's off the mat, but parallel to the front edge of the mat. This foot is your kickstand. Reach the left leg to the back of the mat, in line with the right. Plant the left foot. Right arm comes underneath the right shoulder. Inhale, reach the left arm up to the sky. Rotate the left palm down to the mat and reach the arm overhead, making one long line with the left side of the body. Once again, reach the left ribs up to the sky. Exhale to release, and we will switch sides. Left arm over left wrist as we pivot on the left knee and reach the right foot to the back edge of the mat. Inhale to reach that right arm overhead. Find a lift through the ribs, creating one long line with that whole right side body. Gaze comes to the mat. Release the right hand and come out of the pose, finding our way to tabletop once more. This time, let's reach our hands forward and send our hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Slowly pedaling through the feet, one at a time. Eventually, we will find stillness. Keep the knees bent, and don't worry if your heels don't touch the floor. Some never will. Find your downward facing dog. Inhale to gaze between the hands and step the right foot up in between the hands. Untuck the back toes. Drop the left knee to the mat. If the left knee hurts at all, flip the side of the mat over for some extra padding. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead for Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Softly sink into the hips, keeping your upper body upright. Check in with your pelvic bone. If it feels like you're arching forwards, draw the belly up to correct it. Inhale, reach the fingertips a bit higher. Exhale, release the left hand to the inside of the right foot. Twist the right arm open to the sky. Open the chest for easy twist. Option to place a block under the left hand to find lift. Really opening the chest here. Release the twist. Plant the right hand. Tuck the toes and step back with the right foot. Find your downward facing dog. Switching sides. Let's inhale, step the left leg in between the hands and drop the right knee. Exhale here. Again, taking a moment to flip the mat over if you need a little bit of extra protection under that knee. Wait for your inhale. Raise the arms up overhead. Tucking the back toes. Find your low lunge. Sink into the hips. Keep that navel drawing towards the spine. Gaze forward. Chin stays gently tucked. Inhale to reach the fingertips a little bit higher, and exhale, place that right hand to the mat inside the left foot. Inhale, open that left arm up to the sky, and exhale here. Try to keep the shoulders stacked on top of one another. It's easier said than done. So I'm going to keep all of that weight out of that right wrist. So we're lifting up out of that right wrist. Inhale, lift, and exhale, plant the left hand, step it back, downward facing dog. Let's walk our hands back to meet your feet at the back of the mat. Bring your hands to opposite elbows and gently find a sway side to side, keeping a slight bend in the knees. Inhale, we'll slowly roll up to standing. Take a big step up with the right foot, knee comes over the ankle. Widen the stance of the feet as if they are on train tracks. The wider the feet are apart, the more stable you'll be. Alternatively, if you want a challenge, bring the feet in closer to the middle of the mat. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. Inhale, press the mat away, find lift, arms come up overhead. Exhale, sink into the hips. Navel comes to the spine, engaging the core. Keep the lift. Release by taking a big step up with the left foot and give your legs a little shake. Switching sides, this time we'll just step back with the right foot. Try and keep your balance. Come on to the ball of the right foot. Inhale, arms up overhead, and exhale, sink into the hips. Draw that belly to the spine. Shoulders rolled back and down away from the ears. Exhale, release the arms, step it back, top of the mat. Shake it out once again, and we'll find our way down to seated. Send the hips back on the mat and extend the legs forward. Grab your blocks and place them beside the hips. Place your hands on the blocks, and we'll press the chest away. Inhale to find lift. Roll the shoulders back for Dandasana, staff pose. If you don't need the blocks, you can just push them out of the way. Big breath here, bending the knees if you need to. Next inhale, we'll bend through the knees if they're not bent, and we'll exhale, start walking the hands down to the shins or the feet for a forward fold. There's an option to place the blocks under the knees for some added support. Inhale to reach the chest up and forward, and exhale a bit deeper into the fold. Draw that chest to the thigh, working on not rounding through the lower back. Inhale back up to seated, and we'll widen the legs. Find length in the spine, and we'll start walking the hands forward. Again, keeping the knees bent if you need to. Trying to keep the back straight, so it doesn't matter how far you come forward. Just trying to keep that spine in one long line as we reach the hands forward. Inhale to find lift with the chest, and exhale a little bit deeper. Come back up through center. We'll grab our blocks once again, and this time let's place it on the inside of the left shin. Place the left palm on the block, and on the next inhale, we'll open that right arm up to the sky. Opening the chest nice and wide, and make sure we're pressing down to the mat with our right hip bone, right sit bone. Gaze can either come up to the fingertips or maybe at your dog in front of you. Exhale, release the twist, and we will switch sides. So if you use the block on the left side, let's do it again on the right. If not, hand comes to the inner right shin, and the left arm opens up wide to the sky. Really finding some length through that chest. Let's Let's release that hand and we'll shift the hips forward, bring the legs together, feet stay planted, and we'll just roll down to the back. Slowly rolling down. Hug the knees to the chest, draw the chin to the chest, making a little ball. Stretching out that backside. And release. Plant the feet back down. Inhale the right foot up and cross it over the left thigh. If this is enough, stay here. To go a bit deeper, lift the left leg off the mat and reach to grab the left thigh with the right hand. Try to keep the shoulders and the sit bones pressing down to the mat. Release the left leg and we will switch sides. Right foot plants and left leg crosses over the right thigh. If this is where you stayed on the other side, then stay here. Keep the body nice and even. Or you can lift that right leg up, reaching the hands for the back of that right thigh. Wherever you are, we're still breathing here. Really drawing the shoulders and the hip bones down to the mat. Release both feet to the mat. Have your blocks handy and bring the arms out wide, either outstretched, or if you don't have a lot of space, bend at the elbows and cactus the arms. Inhale, shift the hips slightly to the left side. Exhale, let the knees fall to the right side. Option to place the block in between the knees or underneath the knees. Keep that left shoulder glued to the mat. Find your twist, and we'll stay here for one breath. Inhale back through center, and we will switch sides. Bringing the block with you, and we'll do the same thing we did on the opposite side. So wherever the block was on the opposite side, if you used it, keep it in the same spot. This time we'll glue the right shoulder to the mat. Inhale, come back through center, hug the knees in, and make your way back up to seated. And we'll find your way back to your version of easy pose. If you had the blocks, you can still grab those. Sit up nice and tall, and we'll close the practice with one cleansing breath. So exhale all the air out of the body. Big inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. That's all for day 1 of your 7-day yoga journey. We'll see you tomorrow on the mat.